guide all our councils and actions.
Order 63. I start to move the motion.
I rise support Francis College.
President,
Editor time.
Presenting the...
We invited regarding the removal. There are no Senate duties. I take it early.
Senator Jones for
presentation of a bill.
If they do, villages are not.
Then they now send it. I think we should be beyond the pride.
Additional prayer.
I so move, Mr. President. The ayes have it.
Hello there, and compliments of the season. Welcome to this edition of the program Inside the Senate. I'm your uncle Hadiza Bayero Aliu. As it were, the Senate is still on break and is built to resume on the 27th of January 2026. The program today, therefore, is a review of activities in the Senate in 2025, where lawmakers discuss crucial motions as well as considered bills. Highlights of the review include major reforms, intense debates, and political realignments that featured one lawmakers tackled crucial motions and bills dedicated to tax reforms, security, healthcare, digital economy, education, and more. We also feature excerpts from an interview with Senator Olabiyi Fadeyi, representing Osun Central in the Senate. Stay tuned to the program for these stories after the break.
We are going to focus more on delivering dividend of democracy.
We're going to put a law in National Assembly for independent candidates. To say 26 years of unbroken democracy is a plus to all Nigerians.
What we're expecting is the impact of this growth on the lives of the ordinary people of Nigeria. One good democratic action is better than a million beautiful, sweet-sounding words.
Welcome back. In 2025, the Senate prioritized reforms to boost Nigeria's economy, security, and governance. A major win was the passage of the tax reform bills achieved after intense debates and stakeholders' input. Earlier in 2025, the Senate received an executive bill proposing reforms through tax. After an intense debate during first and second readings, it was referred to the Finance Committee, which held a public hearing to gather inputs. Thereafter, the Senate received and considered the report of the Committee on Finance on the tax reform bills, namely Joint Revenue Board Establishment Bill 2025, Nigeria Revenue Service Establishment Bill 2025, Nigeria Tax Administration Bill 2025, and Nigeria Tax Bill 2025. The report was presented by Senator Mohammed Saidu Musa.
Present or to seek for the Senate to approve that I lay the report of the Committee on Finance on the tax reform bills SB 583, SB 584, SB 585, and SB 586.
The Senate then dissolved into the Committee of the Whole for a clause-by-clause consideration, expunging contentious areas in the legislations, after which the bills were read a third time. Following the passage, a conference committee was constituted to harmonize the Senate versions with that of the House of Representatives. The bills were forwarded to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who signed them into law on the 26th of June 2025.
Distinguished senators.
On economic development, the Senate considered a bill for an act to enable the growth of digital economy and digital governance in Nigeria by improving the certainty of digital transactions, digital service delivery, and for related matters 2025. It was sponsored by Senator Salisu Shaibu Afolabi on the 12th of July 2025.
The overview of the bill, the objectives are just about 5. One, we need to establish legal framework for electronic communication records, contracts, and digital signatures. We need to mandate the digital transformation across public institutions, governed by national ICT standards and measurable service delivery benchmarks.
So what this bill essentially seeks to do is to give legal teeth and framework for the modus operandi of artificial intelligence as well as operation of the digital economy, to give it not only the legal framework but also to back and bite in the process of operating the digital economy.
This bill be read second time. Please say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it.
Accordingly, the bill was read a second time and was referred to the Committee on ICT and Cybersecurity, who in turn organized a public hearing to bring in the general public's input. We'll take a short break for our notebook segment. A review of major bills and motions in 2025 continues when we return. Do keep watching.
Committee meetings serve the following purposes. They allow committees to deliberate on bills, motions, and other matters referred to them by the Senate. They provide a platform for committees to invite stakeholders and experts to share information and opinions on specific issues. They enable detailed examination of national matters before decisions are made at plenary. They ensure that findings and recommendations are properly documented for consideration by the entire Senate. The committee is the engine room of the Senate, and committee meetings promote transparency, accountability, and informed decision-making in the legislative process.
Welcome back. Inside the Senate continues with a review of major decisions taken in 2025 as the Senate considered bills and motions with lasting impact on the security and health care of the nation. Let's take a report on that as compiled and presented from our studio.
As lawmakers repeatedly raised alarms about insurgency, banditry, and other security threats, the Senate adopted a call for a national security summit across all 6 geopolitical zones. The Senate received and considered the interim report of the ad hoc committee on the 2025 National Security Summit on the 17th of December 2025. It was presented by Senator Bamidele Michael Okoyemi.
Movement of bandits and terrorist elements from one section of the country to another should be strongly monitored and prevented in such a way that terrorist groups can be easily isolated, contained, and annihilated. 24. That a large swath of the nation's territory can be described as ungoverned space, as there is very little or virtually no government presence of any sort.
This report has aptly captured all the feelings, the recommendations, as well as the observations and the solutions or panacea proposed towards tackling this security situation.
Amongst other recommendations, the report called for a review of the country's security architecture such that the focus in fighting insecurity would be proactive rather than reactive. It also recommended improved interagency collaboration by all security agencies in intelligence gathering, sharing, and eventual counter-terrorism operations. It further called for the creation of a special fund by the federal government to tackle unemployment, poverty, corruption, drug abuse, hunger, literacy, and radicalism to address some of the root causes of insecurity. It also recommended the establishment of inter-religious and ethnic bodies in all communities to promote harmony among people of different leanings, in addition to empowering traditional rulers to function fully as leaders in rural settings. The report also touched on mining control and review of outdated border laws to regulate illegal migration and other activities posing danger to security. After the contributions, the report was accordingly adopted. On health, the Senate attended to a bill for an act to repeal the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency Act and to reenact the National Primary Healthcare Development Bill 2025 to provide for a comprehensive framework for the delivery of quality, equitable, and accessible primary healthcare services to strengthen community-based health systems, promote universal health coverage, and for related matters 2025. It was sponsored by Senator Olamilekun Adeola Solomon on the 13th of November 2025.
The primary health care happens to be the first health
health services that should be available to every citizen of this country at the ward level and at the local government level. And the federal government have put so much into the infrastructure of primary health care across this country.
Senators lent their voices to the general principles of the bill.
Any bill or any act that will strengthen the Health Care Development Agency, particularly primary health care, deserve the attention of not only this August Senate, but every Nigerian. Because primary health care development agency is very key and concerned the downtrodden across all the nook and crannies of the country. And this deserves the attention of the government agencies. And the law governing it must be in tandem with the modern realities.
The bill was accordingly read a second time and referred to the Committee on Primary Health Care and Communicable Diseases to report within 4 weeks. A second health-related bill debated in November 2025 was a bill for an act to amend the Customs, Excise Tariff, etc. Consolidation Act to provide for the earmarking of excise duty on non-alcoholic, carbonated or sweetened beverages for initiatives and infrastructure that improve the health of Nigerians and for related matters 2025. It was presented by Senator Amos Yohana.
This amendment is not merely fiscal in nature. It is a public health investment strategy that aligns taxation policy with our national health priorities. It proposes a restructuring of existing excise duty on sugar-sweetened beverages.
This bill is not adding any additional burden on the ordinary citizen. It is only restructuring that portion of the percentage of excise duty that we legislated the other time for in the Revenue Amendment Act. And by doing it, we will have to find a way to redistribute.
SB 713, second reading taken.
Thereafter, the bill was read a second time and was referred to the Committees on Finance, Customs, Excise and Tariffs, and Healthcare, Secondary and Tertiary to report within 4 weeks.
My decision to resign my membership of the People's Democratic Party.
Politically, 2025 witnessed a wave of defections, with several senators moving to the ruling party, reshaping the balance of power in the chambers. As it stands, the All Progressive Congress APC holds over two-thirds majority of Senate seats.
Welcome back from that break. Earlier on, we reviewed legislative business and decisions of the Senate in 2025, touching on bills and motions debated and which focused on economic development, security, and the health sector. Inside the Senate, before the recess, had an interview with Senator Fade Olubi, representing Osun Central in the 10th Assembly, and he highlighted some of the 10th Assembly's most notable achievements.
As a whole, in the Senate, under the leadership of Senator Akpabio, the Senate President, collectively, I will score us at 75 to 80%. We've done well. It has not been easy, but we've been able to, about 3 achievements, which I consider is very genuine. It says that it's supporting Mr. President in all executive bill that comes to us. And you can see that one of the one is the tax reform bill, which was debated very well, you know, and at the end of the day, we were able to resolve it and passed into law. And then Nigeria will get the dividends of democracy on the issue of tax, which is a very good one. Then the other one is trying to make it the Development Commission. Development Commission, which it became last year, proposed in the floor of the Senate, and looking at it is desire of Mr. President to expand infrastructure in all geopolitical zone. You remember that about 2 governing data Northeast Commission. So, in the wisdom of the president, and which we said we support him, to be able to create a new commission. We have the Southwest or the South-South, we have the North Central, we have the Southeast, which we should commend Mr. President and of course commend our leadership as well in the Senate supporting this bill.
He elaborates further on these successes.
Due to the economic, when the president came in, there's a need for it to increase the minimum wage. Which now today, Switzerland gets up to about 70,000 in a month, even the state government as well. It's a good thing. I mean, good living. The president is trying his best to improve the livelihood of our people. But having said that too, I think there's always stability in the fuel. Gone are the days when we queue on the road and on the police station and waited for a long while. That has disappeared already. And of course, when you look at the exchange rate has been reasonably dropping bit by bit, and the economy is picking up.
As chairman of the Senate Committee on Environment, Senator Fadeyi shares insights into the committee's work.
We have the issue of pollution, oil pollution in Nat'l region. We have the issue of environmental impact assessment, which is not too good enough, and our committee looking at it very well closely. We are going to have a retreat, and we're going to have a public hearing soon on AIA. You see a lot of projects which require EIA, but require a follow-up. That's what they call environmental impact, environmental plan, where you have your EIA set aside, and the contractor has to follow up. Because most of the time they'll just ignore it, and there is social impact on the people. Let me give an example. A mining company, mining gold, and of course they will dig and dig and dig, and they move on to the next site. Instead of them closing up, they won't close it up, and these people in that village will not be able to do farming again. So there's a lot of social impact on our, Another one is even within Abuja, those who blast. Yes. Is it rock or? Yes. What's it called? Granite. Yeah, exactly. It's affecting a lot of people. We have a lot of petition here, even on health hazard. They cannot even hear. Because it's like every day is blasting. It's blasting. So we are conscious of that, and we want to really look into the environmental impact assessment and change the law.
As a first-term senator, he shares his experiences and achievements so far.
For me as a senator, it's a big responsibility, I would say. It's not a child's play, because I have like 10 local government, and I have to, because they're all 70% voted for me, and because I won my election with a good number of votes. And at the end of the day, when we are here, we try to look into what we could do based on our election promises. But not the case. It's not the case as people think. But I took the challenge, and of course looking into what I could do back in my central district. Like I said, I have 10 local governments, and it is the biggest in Osun State. Of course, the center is the state capital. So you can know what's. But it's got to have it. It's about strategy. When you put strategy into your how you want to prioritize your projects. So in the last 2 years, we've been able to do completed about 100 projects. Yeah. When I say 100 projects, I mean 100 projects, which have been fact-checked. You can check it out. From education to health to schools to road, we've done about 4 kilometer road in my central district. we've installed about 24 boreholes, and of course about 24, 25, 200, 300, 500 transformers.
He concludes the interview by urging Nigerians to be patient and understanding with the government.
We all know that it's tough, and I said to you, reforms is always difficult. Even in the house, when you do reforms, it's always difficult. Even in where you work, a closed door where you work, talk of 250 million population. But the most is like the person is focused, and of course we've been supporting him. We not divide, and of course we could only appeal to Nigerians to wait a bit. He feels it. He understands it very well. He watches TVs often, and so many things are really have become bad. So he has to now keep on pushing hard, change the narrative, and of course we believe in him, and he knows that he has to perform. So we can only appeal to our people across board to please give him more time.
That was a summary of the interview we had with Senator Olubi Ifadeyi. Inside the Senate continues with our profile segment. Stand by for our Senator of the Week.
Distinguished, disciplined, and deeply devoted to service, Senator Aminu Iya Abbas stands today as the senator representing Adamawa Central Senatorial District, a role he earned through the 2023 general elections on the platform of the People's Democratic Party, PDP. Born in 1973 in Yola, the heart of Adamawa State, Aminu Iya Abbas grew up with a strong sense of responsibility and a drive to make a difference. His educational journey began at Central Primary School, Uba, and continued at Government Secondary School, Uba, where he distinguished himself as a bright and determined student. Pursuing his passion for numbers and fiscal discipline, he obtained a national diploma in accounting from Federal Polytechnic, Mubi, 1991 to 1993. His quest for deeper knowledge took him to Bayero University, Kano, where he earned a bachelor's degree in accounting 2000 and later a master's in treasury management 2008. He is both a chartered accountant and a certified fraud examiner, credentials that continue to guide his meticulous and transparent approach to public service. After completing his National Youth Service Corps (NYSC) and the Nigeria Liquefied Natural Gas (NLNG), Senator Abbas gained valuable experience across the private and public sectors, serving at Sigma Securities, Africa Petroleum, and the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC), where he worked as a forensic accountant and investigator. His commitment to integrity and service soon led him into politics, where his leadership qualities shone brightly. Elected to the Adamawa State House of Assembly, he quickly rose through the ranks to become Speaker of the House 2019 to 2023. In that capacity, he demonstrated remarkable administrative acumen, steering the Assembly with fairness, focus, and foresight. In 2023, his exceptional record and the trust of his people propelled him to the Nigerian Senate, where he now represents Adamawa Central, a victory that reflects his enduring bond with the people and their confidence in his vision for progress. Within the 10th Senate, Senator Aminu Iya Abbas serves as the chairman of the Senate Committee on Science, Technology, and Innovation. His area of interest is in technological advancement, youth and women empowerment, and sustainable development.
Here we come to the end of this week's edition of Inside the Senate. Keep a date with us again next week for another edition. I am Hadiza Bayero Aliyu, wishing you a successful new year. Thanks for watching.